So, you're deaf.
Do you want me to put my hearing aids in?
Yes, yes. Thank you. You still got, those are the ones that are still too thick, aren't they?
No, these are ones that are fine.
It's a silicone mold rather than that hard plastic. They're quite painful, aren't they?
No, this one is because it needs to be repaired. The mould needs to be fixed. Both of the moulds are split. Okay, got my ears in.
So when you hearing that, what's the difference between having them in and not having them in?
You can hear things that I can't normally hear without them.
Is there like a metallic sound, or is it?
It echoes.
Echoes quite a bit.
Because I haven't had them in today yet.
Okay.
So when you first put them in, it echoes terribly.
Do you get used to echoing?
Yeah, you do eventually. But then you have to wear them every day, all day, and eventually you'll get the echo will go away.
Okay.
It's just that it's that white noise that everybody else can normally hear.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't normally hear that, and because
so you're not used to it.
No, because you can always hear it. Your brain is silenced that, like the white noise.
Yeah.
Whereas all of a sudden,
it's something that you can't ignore because you never hear it.
Yeah.
Okay. Mm. So your hearing is, because I looked at the chart thingy, and it's between about 65 and 80.
Yeah.
Yeah, on both ears now.
Yeah.
More or less. So what does that mean? Does that mean you can't hear high sounds or low sounds, or?
I can't hear high sounds. Like really high sounds, I never hear. Birds singing, that kind of thing, you don't hear at all. I only hear those if I've got my hearing aids in. And then low sounds, you hear the sound. I can hear the sound, but I don't necessarily always hear what. If someone's talking to me and they've got a very deep voice, I'll hear the sound, but I won't necessarily be able to hear what they're actually saying.
Okay, so you can just hear like a murmur.
Yeah.
Or like
it's like a drone.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is very annoying.
Okay. Do you know when your hearing started to deteriorate at all?
I only picked it up when I was 12. But after all the tests and all the rest, they think that I was probably born this way, and then because what it is I've got the nerve ends that are dying back in my ears, so they think I was probably born this way, and then because I had measles very badly at 18 months old, they think that started it on its deterioration thing. But they never picked it up. They just said I was a very naughty child. But this.
Is that why you didn't pay attention at school?
Yeah. Yeah. And then in those days, the schools used to come around and listen and do hearing tests and sight tests.
Yeah.
And they actually tested me 4 times because they couldn't believe that with the amount of hearing that I was showing on the tests,
that you could still talk to
them. That I could actually talk or even hear them at all.
There's some words you can't hear, and you have to watch my mouth. Is that how you listen?
I think that's probably how. I think you always find another coping mechanism.
Yeah.
And I think that's what it is. It's because when I was a kid, I couldn't hear, but I didn't know I couldn't hear.
Yeah.
So you just redirect your senses, and they actually asked where I had been taught to lip read.
Okay.
But obviously I'd never been taught to lip read. I taught myself because you have a mechanism that just jumps in its place instead.
Okay.
So I taught myself how to lip read, and it's been like that ever since.
Yeah. You do lip read. Is there any other ways?
I watch the eyes.
Eyes.
I watch eyes, I watch lips, and I watch mannerisms.
So you know what people are saying through body language as well?
Yeah, yeah. It's a combination of all 3.
Okay.
Because if I can't hear them, and I can't read their mouth, but you can tell by their eyes, for example, if somebody's angry, and I can't hear them, you can tell by their eyes or by their body language.
Yeah.
And I think that's why I like people watch so much.
Okay. Do you used to listen to music a lot?
Yes. I always listened to music because my mother was determined, when we found out that I had such a severe hearing problem, she was determined that I would be treated like a completely normal person.
Yeah.
And her thinking was that if I kept the nerve end stimulated all the time, they wouldn't die.
Yeah.
And so she used to make me listen to songs. We used to have the Walkman or the radio or whatever, record player or whatever, and she used to make me put the headphones on and then listen to the songs and try and write the words.
Okay.
Because then it was forcing me to really concentrate, and I think that's how I do everything now.
Yeah, like an importance on listening rather than hearing.
Yes.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, because you're so busy listening sometimes, or
hear.
concentrating on what somebody is saying, you don't actually get what they're saying.
Yeah.
Which is it's one of those things.
Yeah. Do you still listen to a lot of music?
Yes.
Yes. But obviously there's certain pitches and tones in the music that you can't hear because you can't have hearing aids on at the same time as listening to music. So how has that affected your experience of listening to music? You still enjoy it?
I still love listening to music.
Yeah.
I love listening to music, but I have to have the volume up really loud.
Yeah.
And then I worry, like if I'm on the bus and I've got the earphones in,
yeah,
I worry that because I have to have it so loud to hear it, that if anybody's sitting next to me or behind me or in front of me, they can hear the volume.
Yeah, how loud it is.
How loud it really is. Although to me, I mean, I'll have my cell phone on high, on the loudest it goes on the bus on the way to work in the morning.
Yeah.
But I still won't hear all the music.
I
still don't hear everything, but there's nothing I can do about that. It's as loud as the phone will go.
So the tones that you can't hear normally, if they're at a certain volume, you can hear them, or is there just some that you can't hear at all completely?
No, it's at a certain volume. Because when they do the hearing tests, for example, the high pitched sounds.
Yeah.
They will, the way they test your ears, or the way they always used to test mine, was that they would play a sound, the same sound, and then they'd play it at the different decibels, I think it is, and then so it would be the same sound but at the different volumes, and it would sometimes go up depending if they're testing the higher tones or the low tones.
Yeah.
And then I don't know, I just hear it from there.
Yeah. You also used to play you do play the guitar. And obviously when you were younger you had better hearing than you do now.
Much better now, yeah. Much better then than now, yeah.
Yeah. So has that affected how you can play a musical instrument?
I think so, yeah. Because when I first, I actually taught myself how to play the guitar, and then it's hearing. I was 12 when I got my first guitar, and that was the same time as I got my hearing aids.
Yeah.
So it wasn't a problem.
No.
I could cope with it, but I do know for a fact that if I take my hearing aids off, I can't hear if my guitar is out of tune. I can't tune my guitar, and I don't sing either, because I'm so conscious of the fact that I can't sing anymore without my hearing aids in.
Yeah. So you've had hearing aids, you said, since you were 12, but there was also a period where you didn't have them because the cat ate one.
Because the cat ate one, yeah.
But otherwise, you've had hearing aids most of your life.
Yeah. Yeah.
And what's your opinion of hearing aids?
I think they're okay. They do what they're supposed to do.
Yeah.
They amplify the volume. Now there isn't the stigma attached to wearing a hearing aid that there was when I was a kid.
Plus you've got a lot of hair.
I've got a lot of hair, so nobody realises. But then I'm also very, very lucky because I'm one of. They said when they did my hearing originally, when I was 12, that technically I shouldn't even be able to speak, let alone be able to speak as well as I do.
Yeah.
So that's how I look at it now. With my hearing, having taken if I've got my hearing aids in, nobody can tell whether I've got them in or not.
Yeah.
If I take them out, because it doesn't affect my speech, you still can't tell whether I've got them in or out. I'm also very conscious that people think I'm ignoring them. Yeah. But then, I mean, and the only time you can tell that I actually do have a hearing problem is if I'm sick or if I'm very tired, because then I speak very, very nasally, but otherwise it's fine. And I think that's also a built-in mechanism of, without consciously doing it, I'm permanently forcing myself to listen.
Yeah. So you're not deteriorating more, kind of thing.
One of the batteries has just died.
Oh. So you can only hear in one ear now.
It's very lopsided now. I need to change the battery.
That's okay.
Fortunately, these hearing aids go beep, 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 beep.
Oh, they tell you when they're about to
They
die.
tell you when the battery is going to run out.
How often do... Oh, well, how long do the batteries normally last?
About 2 weeks.
2 weeks. And how often would you be using it? Every day?
Yeah.
At work?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't normally wear them at home.
No.
I don't need to. Yeah, you get to the point where you don't even realise that you're wearing them anymore.
Okay.
Which is quite nice. Oh, I don't believe it. This one's just gone to... Unfortunately, this is what happens.
Yeah.
Which is a bit of a pain in the behind if you're doing something high, like at work or something. If I'm in the middle of a meeting
and your hearing aids
or
suddenly
anything
die.
like that, and my hearing aids suddenly die, I have to say to people, just excuse me a minute while
Especially as sometimes you take minutes for meetings, don't you? Or you used to. Taking minutes.
Yeah.
So when you're taking minutes for a meeting and suddenly if that one dies,
then it gets very tricky.
Yeah.
It's awful. Okay, I'm back.
How do you find people react to you? Like, obviously when you've got your hearing aids, people don't notice at all.
No.
But when you take them out, like just now when I was talking to you and you had to then look up and look at my mouth to find out what I was saying, how do people normally react to having to say things twice, or if they do?
Now it's not so bad.
Yeah.
I've actually reached the age now where I don't really care what people think.
Yeah.
So if they think anything, it's their problem, they must deal with it.
Yeah.
Whereas when I was a kid or a teenager, you're very worried all the time about what other people think and how other people cope, and you think they're judging you all the time.
Yeah.
So it did used to affect me badly then. I actually went through a stage where I didn't wear them because I was trying to do like an experiment for myself.
Yeah.
To see people's different reactions.
Yeah. Teaches you a lot about people.
Yeah. And I remember I was very popular at one point, and the one time I decided I was going to do this test, and so I just didn't wear my hearing aids at all.
Yeah.
No, I did. Sorry, I didn't wear my hearing aids, but I decided I was going to do this test, and I did wear my hearing aids that day.
Yeah.
And people couldn't even speak to me because all of a sudden now they just didn't know what to do or what to say around me, because suddenly, because I had a contraption attached to my ear, I was different.
Yeah.
And people don't like that.
Yeah.
It's their problem, not mine.
Now Michael, your nephew, my cousin, is stone deaf.
Yeah.
And when they first found out that he was deaf, you noticed a lot of similarities between his actions and what you did when you were growing up that you never thought about before.
Yeah, yeah.
What were they?
His frustrations, just for starters, and a lot of things that he says, or not that he talks, that he does, or a lot of the way he reacts to things, explained in my head why I had reacted in a similar way.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, I think because he's deaf and everybody can see that he's deaf and he can't talk.
Yeah, he uses sign language.
He uses sign language. Everybody assumes everybody just accepts that that's the way he is.
Yeah.
Whereas although I might have been in almost the same boat,
because you don't speak sign language,
nobody could see that I was deaf, my behaviour wasn't accepted.
Yeah.
Wasn't acceptable.
People don't know how to deal with it.
No.
Because you're supposed to be normal.
Yeah, but I had the same frustrations.
Yeah.
And all the rest that he's got, exactly the same thing. And I think that's why I've grown up to be an independent person and don't give a crap.
Yeah. Is there anything that you think being or having bad hearing has taught you?
Yes. That even if you do have bad hearing, you can still be... The way I look at it is because my lesson has always been, to kids for example, that yes, I have a hearing problem and my hearing is bad, but I'm a good person.
Yeah.
And that has always been my most important thing.
Yeah.
To push across to other people, is that it doesn't matter what a person looks like or sounds like or behaves like, or what they look like or what they sound like or their difficulties or anything like that. They are still a good person, and you can't judge them by what you see physical appearance.
Yeah.
You've got to go by what's inside and how they behave.
Is there anything that your hearing has taught you about certain types of people, or does everyone sort of react the same?
Oh no, people react differently. Some people want to be politically correct.
Oh yeah.
And act like it's all fine, and then they go overboard at being nice to you.
Yeah.
Which makes me really, really angry, because that I can't handle, because that's false.
Yeah.
You get other people who want to test you. That's the big thing. People love testing. Like, almost as though... And I think that's because of me, though, because I can speak well.
Yeah.
I think people think I'm lying.
Yeah.
So they want to test me. They think I'm lying, so they want to test me all the time. Other people will suddenly talk really loud and emphasize their words, which is stupid, because then I definitely can't lip read what they're saying.
Yeah. Because your mouth doesn't make the same...
No, it doesn't make the same shapes. Or people will deliberately talk with their hand in front of their mouth. And that really, really, that actually annoys me.
Yeah.
That annoys me, because then they're just being obtuse.
Yeah.
And there's no point in doing that.
Yeah.
No point at all. I don't like driving. I think maybe that's why I watch the mirrors all the time.
Yeah, because you can't hear the cars.
Because I can't hear the cars. I think that's why I always drive with my window open, despite the fact that it's bloody freezing cold.
Yeah.
Because I can hear sirens that way. I feel more secure that I can hear a siren.
Yeah.
If I've got the radio on in the car, I have to have it fairly loud so that I can hear it.
Yeah.
But I think people look at me and think, there's this nearly 50-year-old lady with the radio loud, she thinks she's a teeny bopper.
Yeah.
So, there's little things like that which is just neither here nor there. But also, I find in the car, the thing I miss the most now is being able to talk to people in the car.
Yeah.
If I'm sitting in the front seat and the person is sitting in the front seat, then I can talk to them, but I have a problem because I need to look at them all the time. So it does get a little bit difficult driving, and so I tend not to talk to someone in the car.
I think that's also, hearing that, I know us children don't talk in the car at all. We're all quiet, and we'll just stare out the window, and we don't talk in the car at all. I think that's probably come from that, maybe.
I think it very probably has, because it was always the case that I can't hear you.
Yeah.
I can't hear you speak up, I can't hear you. So it was, and I mean, I know with you children, you've all learnt from a very young age to look at me when you talk. I remember when you were little, we used to tell secrets and whisper secrets, but it was like this that we'd whisper secrets.
Okay.
We wouldn't whisper secrets into my ear.
Okay.
We would whisper secrets like that.
Yeah.
Because that way I could see your mouth. And as I said,
that's all right.
I could see your mouth, and you could talk to me and tell me your secrets. And although you were talking really, really quiet, I could still understand what you were saying, which I felt was an important part of... which I thought was an important part of your growing up. As I also felt very strongly that you got, because you'd grown up with someone like me.
Yeah.
Wait. That was Auntie's. That's Daddy's one. Because you grew up with someone around like me, you became more aware of disabilities.
Yeah.
And better able to deal with people with disabilities.
Yeah. I think that's true.
But I never think of myself as having a disability.
Yeah. Can you take your hearing aids out?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you want me to?
Yeah. I heard it squeak there.
That's a piggy one.
I heard it squeak. It always squeaks when you take them out.
Yeah, it's just because it's the air in the mould. Or the lack of volume in them. I don't know what it is, but they do squeak and it's horrible.
Yeah. Because I remember we tried them once, and you could hear cars down the street. But when you were putting them in and taking them out, there was this awful metallic sound. And I think when we were listening to them as well, or I know when I was listening to them, it's apart from normal sound, it's got like a tinny kind of tone to it. Do you pick that up at all, or is it?
I've been told it sounds like someone speaking through a tube or something.
like a metal can or something.
I mean, for me now, having taken them off, I can hear nothing.
Yeah.
Except my own voice.
Okay, so it's just complete silence around you then.
It's lovely.
Yeah.
It is. It's lovely. Because you don't hear all the other bits and things. You don't get distracted as easily.
Yeah.
Because you can't hear everything else that's going on. So you can just concentrate on what's being. What are you showing your tummy for? It's for your tattoos. Put your tummy down. That's it. Hold it. We'll do your tattoos later.
Yeah. So obviously, when we were kids, you said we had to whisper with our hands in front of our faces. Was there any noticeable things or differences that we did that other children didn't do?
Yes, you children always knew. You children always looked at the person when you spoke to them.
Yeah.
Which I know a lot of children don't do. They'll look all over the place. They'll look at the floor. They'll look everywhere.
Yeah.
But I think you children right from the start would look straight at me, and you would look at my face.
Yeah.
What? Yeah, just leave them, please. You would look at my face.
Yeah.
Which I thought was very important, because to me it's a big sign of respect as well.
Yeah.
To look at a person in the eyes while they're talking. But that does wait, Leo, wait. That does disconcert people. Some people feel, and that's actually been commented before, is that they don't like people looking at their face when they're talking.
Makes people feel uncomfortable.
They feel uncomfortable. There are. Look at that. It makes people feel uncomfortable.
Yeah.
When you watch them all the time, and it's not that I'm trying to do anything. You hearing? Hello, can you hear me? Hello, can you hear? You funny little boy. I can't remember what I was saying. No, Leo, just leave it, please. Those are batteries. The batteries for Nonny's hearing aids.
Did you ever consider learning sign language?
Yes, I did, but I think I'm too old and too stupid now to learn it. I learned.
What are these batteries?
I learned years ago when I was first told that I was deaf. I learned the alphabet.
Yeah.
But my mother was furious that I'd learned the alphabet.
Because it meant that you weren't going to concentrate on hearing.
Yeah, because she just felt that I would sit back and just learn, and I would lose my communication skills.
Yeah.
What are you trying to do? Which is a point, I suppose.
Yeah.
But I like to talk too much, so I don't think it would have ever gone to that. What are you doing?
No, of course.
See? So I don't think it would have ever gotten to that point.
No.
Because I like to talk far too much. Yeah, but people do say that I'm very loud.
Yeah.
Can't see where I'm going now. But it doesn't matter. It's tough. It's the way it is.
Yeah. Well, you have to be loud to be able to hear yourself.
Yeah, because if you can't hear yourself, you can't correct the way you're speaking.
Yeah.
Anyway, but yeah, I always say to them, when I'm deaf, I've got an excuse. Then they're fine with it.
Yeah.
Once they understand. It does take some people a little bit longer.
Yeah. And obviously, we lived in Zimbabwe for 16. Well, I was there till I was 16, so you've lived there your entire life.
I lived there all my life, yeah.
And now you've come to England. Would you say there's a difference to the approach of how people communicate with you, or? do you think that's down to
Look,
different kinds of people?
these crayons.
Yeah, that's for Leo. People aren't as friendly,
Yeah.
but the other thing is I don't think people are as honest.
People are more correct.
Yeah, they're more they're concentrating with being.
I go here.
They concentrate. I think they're so busy trying to make sure that they respond in the politically correct way
Yeah.
that they're not being honest,
No.
and I can't stand that.
No.
Oops. Oh, now it's gone. You'll have to go get it. You'll have to go get it. Climb under the table. It's gone. What'd you do with it?
She got it
Pardon?
better.
Thank you, Uncle Connor.
Yes.
I mean, it does. Yeah, they're not allowed to be themselves, I don't think.
No.
And I think if they were, because you can, if I find a person who's being honest with themselves,
Yeah.
then I can deal better with them.
Lolly, I broke in a chair.
Pardon?
I broke in a chair.
You broke the chair?
Yeah.
Oh, that's naughty. That's naughty. The other thing is, I think I was always told when you children were at school that you all speak very well
Yeah.
and that you pronounce your words very well. And I think that is a direct result. Wait, Leo.
Of having to speak to you.
Of having to speak to me properly, because my mother, if we didn't speak properly to my mother, she wouldn't answer us.
Yeah.
We had to enunciate properly and speak clearly.
Yeah.
But then, having said that, there might have been, I don't know if I undermined confidence by permanently telling you to speak up, speak properly, open your mouth when you talk. But unfortunately, that's a byproduct of what, it wasn't at you, it was that I could communicate with you.
Yeah.
That's all my batteries have left.
And then just finally, what would you say that your hearing has taught you about the experience of sound? Like, obviously you can hear sound, and the way you hear people speaking is by watching their face and their actions. Is there any other ways besides actually hearing that you try to experience what you used to be able to hear?
I don't know. Sometimes I pity people who aren't deaf.
Yeah?
Because, like for me, I can come home, when I come home in the evening, and take my hearing aids off, and my world goes quiet.
Yeah.
And I feel very sorry for people who can't do that.
Yeah.
And I know, like, with my nephew, with Michael, my sister was very upset that he's too old to have a cochlear implant, because she said he'll never be able to hear.
Yeah.
But I said to her, she can't take that pleasure of not being able to hear away from him as well. I know that sounds really crazy to a person who's got full hearing.
Yeah.
And I am very sad that Michael will never hear music. And I'm eternally grateful that I can.
Yeah.
Oh, Leo! But by the same token, to be able to just switch off to the world like that is amazing.
Yeah.
Because so many people can't do it. But it does make me cross the way people treat deaf people. Not me, but the way people treat people with a hearing problem. I've seen people who speak sign language all the time, like on the bus and that kind of thing, and I am fascinated with them, and I wish I could communicate with them as well.
Yeah.
And for me, I would have loved to have learned sign language for that reason, not for me to hear and talk to people,
Yeah.
but so that I could communicate with someone who has a hearing problem.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, you've lost my other one. Now what? Now what? What are we going to do? Thank you.
Thanks, Mum.
Thank you.